I'm showing 15.
We're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Racing Line. I realize I've introduced these guys. I never introduced myself. So I'm Stevie Ray. These guys are my cohorts. Adam Thompson, our commentator extraordinaire, as
The
well as
voice.
the voice. Yeah. JT2, our coach extraordinaire, our Weekend Warriors champion and coach. So thanks, guys, for joining me again. Appreciate your time.
Stevie, always glad to be here.
Uh-oh. Don't mind me. Here we go. I fixed it. Sorry, guys.
Already?
Oh, yeah. I broke it a little bit, but we're back. We're back. Don't worry about me. We're back already.
Okay.
We'll fix in post.
Yeah, you got to be worried, Adam. All right. So we've had some fun. We had some great races. I think kicking off with the Formula V, our total winning margin over 2 weeks is less than 1/100th of a second. That's just blows the mind.
And one driver involved in both of them. So
yeah. Yep. There's been a driver involved in almost not finishing the race twice.
I started to say there was one that didn't get there twice. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got there this time. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, you guys ready for it?
Let's go.
Here we go.
Formula V's at VIR North.
The field is now in the hands of our front row sitters, the two drivers that treat us to a
this
fantastic
race
show.
was just
1 week ago,
unbelievable
Jason Green
from start to
and
finish.
Fortuna
I will
on
say,
that front row.
JG
Some
got an
drivers already
amazing
started
start here.
to
Helped me
pull it
big
back.
time.
Green flag is out.
Was absolutely able to pull me ahead of geez, what's his name? Of Thor. Yes.
Yep.
But it wasn't over.
Yeah. And only just the one spinner in turn one. So great job, everybody. And then Josh, his second commentary race curses Michelle. Sorry for including this Michelle, but it was too funny.
Yep.
Everybody makes it through, I think. Instantly Michelle spins. So don't worry, Michelle, it's Josh's fault. But yeah, this track was very interesting because it was there was battling all throughout the back.
Yeah, it was difficult to say the least. I think. I mean, the only real passing opportunities were going into turn one. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yep.
Oops.
And there's the danger. This uphill blind corner, semi-blind. All it takes is one person to lose it in front of the field, and everybody has nowhere to go, really.
Tam did say, I mean, it was an amazingly clean race for such a big grid, which is true.
For sure.
Yep.
He will be there to pounce on it. As you can see, he starts back, but he always races so well. He's almost at the front.
Yeah, even this track is interesting in this layout because pretty much only second place could reliably get a move done going into turn one. If
Unless
you're
you're
third or
Thor
fourth
and
on
you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, this was so much fun, guys. I just had I can't get over the amount of fun this was.
Yep. So that's what caused all of this battling, because he couldn't really work together with more than 2 or 3 cars. Because if you were, so I had to do something like this to get forward when I was in fourth. 4 wide, let's go!
All the way around the outside, JG. All the way.
Super close with Jesus. It's fine.
And Rodriguez, I believe it was. Jim Brewster now involved in that fight with this battling.
Yeah, for how many moments we had like that, it was, everybody did a fantastic job as always.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just been absolutely insane. I'm not sure who that was that they made contact with, but either way.
So Adam put me in the middle. I was not happy at this point.
What are you talking
being in
about,
the middle.
Jason?
Luckily Thor backed out of it.
Yeah.
I hate being in the middle for 3 wide.
But, oh my god, my voice already giving out from the drama that we've seen thus far. See that a lot heading into turn number 1.
Yeah, there were points where I was trying to let you and Thor draft off of me to keep you guys side by side.
Another spec 1 on spec 2 fight between Montgomery and Tulo, with Montgomery actually getting that move done with Tulo dropping back down to 5th. Now Montgomery got to slip his way to 2nd down the inside of Jason Green.
That's when Chris enters the chat. This was a good move from him.
Yep.
Slip his way into 3rd.
By the way,
it's now a
although
there's a story here. Chris Montgomery on my overlays as well as SMB's was green. So I'm battling Chris as hard as possible because I think he is an S2 driver.
Yeah, no,
he moved up to S1.
I think that's because we didn't get the download from the first week to update the new class changes.
Yep.
So that's coming. And I think, if I remember right, you said something about bouncing up the class?
I did. Yeah, after 2 races like this where I'm up at the front, there's absolutely no point for me to be down there, to be an S2.
Here's where I
oh, yeah, and here we go. Da, 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 da.
Bonk. Yeah, just yeah, 3 wide into NASCAR. He always it's always gonna be a little sketchy. But yeah, I mean, just not quite enough room between Adam and Chris, and then yeah.
He comes over just a little bit to line up for the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Chris, shout out to you.
All I see is just a missile.
Shout out to you, Chris. If you watch this, he did DM me. And again, man, it was nobody's fault. We were racing super hard. I was having a blast the whole time.
He had to get over a little bit to line up for that corner, and he just wasn't there. Just wasn't there. Yeah, Guido says the weekend warriors where you come for the race and you stay for the people.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, another little incident into turn 1.
Saved my life there.
And I think it kind of, from that angle, it looked like Jim came over, but it was actually Michael just overshooting the apex just a little bit and making contact with his Zeus. But then it turned into a last lap shootout between Thor and Jim.
That's a big thing. You can see Brewster weaving
and
all around the race.
I'm gonna pause this real quick after we see this because
good. I can catch my video off. I'm sliding behind you guys.
Yeah, no worries. Because Jason and I had a bit of a talk about this. Okay. Now, real quick, Jason, I'm gonna back this up just a little bit. Okay, back this up to the beginning of the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Right about here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and anybody in the chat, feel free to let us know, including you, Stevie. You said if right here Jim started swerving, you think if Jim would not have swerved to try to break that draft, you think Jim could have had that win?
100%. Yeah. Well, not 100%, but it would have been. He would have had a better chance, and not that. It was just how aggressively he weaved. Because he went for all the way from the right side of the track all the way to the outside of the track.
Right.
And I think that scrubbed him just enough speed to where Thor was able to get him. But I mean, it would have been close regardless. But when the margin is that low.
Yeah.
You need every little bit.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, right there, Jim's still ahead.
Yeah.
When everything is said and
it's crazy.
That is an unbelievable
yeah.
photo.
4,000th of a second again for Thor. Well done, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
Go ahead, CB.
Oh, Brian says in the chat that even in the real world that the V group and community is just like this. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Tam saying in the chat too. Jim did mention it's not something he practiced very much. Trying to drive down the straight on the. Okay, listen, we will get to the FFs, but I have to talk for the amount of cars in that lead pack at the end of that race, especially when there's a section on that track called roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the amount of cars in that lead group with that difficult of a track, it looks easy till you drive it. The amount of elevation changes, everything. it just goes to show
it's blind cresting over the roller coaster and wants to throw you off.
Exactly. So I mean, you've got like all of this going on, and for all of us to be that close, I can understand why Jim didn't practice it, because I sure as hell didn't either. I didn't think. I mean, you got to think.
Thought we would. Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I forget I forget if it was Dan or Brian. Sorry guys, but in the Friday draft party, or no, I think it was the race after that Michelle hosted. It was either Dan or Brian that I was racing to the line. It was pretty much the exact same as the finish between Thor and Jim.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same margin as well. So yeah, it's always going to be close regardless. Coming to the line there, so it's kind of a toss up. So yeah, but maybe a little weaving would have helped Jim, but he was a little too aggressive with it, in my opinion.
So I kind of, we're all armchair quarterbacking on a Monday morning, right? I mean, this is what we're doing right now. But hindsight, maybe stay to the outside coming out of that corner and cut to the inside. Do not give him any room on the inside. It may not help, but if you stay, you drive right across that painted area on pit entry, and you just stay there and hope that you've got that inside line and a shorter line around the track.
Yeah. Brian's saying it's a long run to the line, and second place is definitely the place to be.
Yep. Yep. All right. Moving on.
Yep. The Formula Fords at Barber. We had an incredible race here. It was a little different than the V's, not as much pack racing, more one car battles.
Hang on. Who is that guy right there in 11th place? Oh, never mind. Jörg Monty's up there in 3rd. I thought, Stevie, you were winning the Masters for a second. Okay, we'll move on.
No, we're not Masters in V's. Oh, you mean in here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Formula Fords.
Formula Fords, yeah.
Most of our front runners, but Lin going to
I got to race this week for a change. One race anyway.
I didn't.
Starting to battle those two running in the final podium position.
You got a race in this weekend.
Yeah, one.
Right behind him. That gap just 3/10 of a second.
And then you commentated.
He's having a battle with James
I did.
Barry as well. Actually,
No. I was AWOL on Sunday.
The field is so.
That's right. You had some kind of party at your house, didn't you?
I did. We can talk about that here in just a minute for sure.
All the way back.
Jörg, it's okay. Obviously, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this. Did Antonio? Antonio's watching. Antonio wasn't in this race.
Antonio didn't come out this weekend.
Wow.
No, he did he was at the SRFs, but not the Formula Fords. This was a super close battle, and this is
Add on to the V's from a minute ago. Michelle says she's hosting a race after the draft party this week again. So be ready for that.
I'll be there this weekend, Michelle. I promise.
Everything he can. So close, but just not quite able to get it done.
And Guido.
Nobody cares about you, Guido. Just kidding, buddy.
Racing to their heart's content. They're certainly pushing these cars to the.
I need to hurry up and semi-retire so I can join the Saturday night fun.
I know.
Right.
Or Friday night fun and Saturday.
For every single position they can.
So going back to the V's just a little bit, shout out to Guido for P3 on the podium.
Turn number 12, that would have been a bold and audacious move.
Shout out to Jörg for fighting Daniel, who I know is quick.
Yeah.
Monty was also very, very quick at this track too, so this is a straight up battle.
I had got a couple of races at this track before with the SCCA base league, so I had that, but still.
And this is a weird one. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Flavio? I see you in the chat there. What's up, man?
Flavio.
Hey, Flavio.
Yeah, it looked like Monty lifted a little bit to let Daniel go in front, but then he didn't really break for the corner, so he ends up in the back of Daniel. So it's, weird one. Luckily, neither of their cars got damaged, so there's that. And then there's this guy being super aggressive on me.
Whoa, come on, Joshua!
I tried to force him really narrow and make him lock up, but he made the corner. So.
Whoa. Oh yes, Joshua Wilkie, my man. Oh no.
And then he started doing things like this. I was like, "Fine, Josh. If you think you're faster, show me you're faster."
Yep. then you made him nervous. You did the exact same thing to me.
Yeah.
Side by side, heading off into 7, 8,
Watch
and 9.
your ears.
Wilkie got that inside line. Nevertheless, Josh Wilkie still running in fourth. And
But when you got somebody chirping in your ear, that's not how you take that corner. You can't park there. All right, Jason. All right, Jason.
Spot is Monty just got the move done on McConnell.
As we see there, more
But yeah, I mean, the dive into the hairpin was the place to make moves, as Monty did, I think, 3 laps in a row.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a move.
They missed my move on Joshua, which is a little closer to that. but yeah, it was into the same corner.
On the first lap on the start, I had Brewster behind me coming into that hairpin, and I kept watching him. Pretty soon, I saw him coming in too hot. I knew it, so I kind of stayed out of the way, and he shot through the hairpin. And spun.
Yeah, and I didn't include those replays because there were some technical difficulties with the replays on the broadcast. They were all in very slow-mo.
Oh yeah.
So they
Nothing separating these two. Even though we have
but there was an incident on the opening lap, and that was pretty much it. This battle was electric.
The whole race. Those two just back and forth.
He has got such a beautiful car.
Oh, a little too close. But here is where Yanchi shows, like, incredible sportsmanship from Yanchi. His car's not damaged. He's waiting because he knows that he's the one that he spun James around. So, and Yanchi is known for doing this.
It's not the first time he's done that.
Nope. So he's setting a good example, as he always does. So shout out to Yanchi.
Yeah, props out to Yanchi. He wanted to wait up for him and race him and pass him legit. So.
Yep.
Said I've seen him do that a few times. So props to you, Yanchi.
Deja vu what happened last time by, but the roles reverse with Barry on the inside line now.
We've had a few through the years and the Weekend Warriors do that kind of stuff, so it's a pretty good group.
It is. That's amazing.
And that's one of the best examples in
Juan
recent memory.
Chillin, Flavio said.
Last lap.
2024, and look at that, Barry trying to wheel the inside of Yanchi Lin in that number 100 car, not close enough. Heading out of turn number 5, the 8 game.
They have the exact same pit time as well.
Yeah. Came in together and went out right the same.
You can see those things. They're sliding around a little bit through here. For sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was very, very difficult around this track. That is a very good example of it right in a second.
Ooh. Oh, James Barry.
Right. Didn't even lose. Well, lost a little bit, but barely lost any time. You want to see the quality of James's driving. Yeah, incredible battle. Well done, Yanchi and James.
In the number 100 car going to
unbelievable.
Right P2, and those two gave us one hell of a
Daniel brings home P3 because Monty underfueled by a little bit.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, I was just barely too far back. He got super lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been luck on my part. Monty was very, very quick at this track, so good job, Monty.
Yeah, wait a minute. Why is nobody making fun of anybody else for underfueling? What the heck? Anyways, yeah, great drive. Obviously, there's your results. Yeah, I did.
Yep. Shout out to Josh Wilkie for S2 win again.
Yes,
E6.
He's been practicing a lot. Every time every time I get on Discord, it always says iRacing underneath his name. So he's definitely pushing.
Also, shout out to. Sorry,
was it this one or the SRF that he said he just got the track and was up to 3 a.m. practicing?
I think that was the SRF. I forget actually. It was one. Yeah, but it was definitely one of these tracks. I think it was. No, you're right. It was Barber. But yeah. Also shout out to Monty. Another finish in these Formula Fords. It's 2 in a row. Let's go. Keep the streak up.
Stevie, I need I need Papa Stevie in here to save me from the chat right now. They're all being mean to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's head over to the SRFs here.
Hosts are free game, guys. Hosts are free game.
Not too many clips from the SRFs, mainly because it was, as you can see, wonderful English weather there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we did have a little bit of an incident. Turn one.
A couple cars sliding, a car going off. Looks like Hayden Bramley gets shoved.
What happens when you brake too much for a non-braking corner?
That's going to promote Jason Green and a few other drivers. So far, the leaders
my reflexes are having a hard time staying
back
up.
in the pack. I'm not really sure what happened there. And jump up to the leader, Marco Pinero, who was able to cover off with a really, really clean, good start. We're going to see a move there. Hayden Bramley making a move on Jason Green coming into turn 8. Not going to be able to get it done. Jason Green.
Yeah, this race turned into a more of an endurance race. But here's the turn 1 incident. Scott Russell just was a little too safe into turn 1 there. It's in full race conditions, it's flat out. And yeah, he got on the brakes pretty heavily there. Dan got into the back of him. And unfortunately, this track is super narrow, so there's nowhere for anybody to go. But yeah, I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's a huge fault of Scott, but it's it's kind of a racing deal.
Somebody's gonna do it with that track.
I mean, where do you pass through here? You don't.
You don't.
Yeah, this was kind of the survival of the fittest kind of race.
And here's the other issue with this track. Had to include this. Sorry, Phil.
Yeah. There's again.
Cookie Monster not happy.
Yeah. So there's only six pit boxes here. And if you're in the first pit box, you have to slow down so much to make it. And unfortunately, Phil forgot to take that into account.
Michelle, you need to take those cuss words back right now. The FVs will be just fine without running this track. They'll be just fine.
Oh, the FVs would be fun here.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think. Pretty sure.
Oh my God, did someone just catch air?
Yep. So there is a jump for the SRFs here. You're pretty much always catching air at that corner, which can end badly if you get the wrong line. But yeah, Marco and Maurizio dominant. They were flying. I had no idea how they maintained that pace. But Hayden and I didn't come anywhere close to matching it. Yeah, great job from Hayden, P3.
As long as he can make it around this last corner, there you go. Hayden Bramley coming down the hill, faking the entry to pit lane, weaving.
And then I start weaving because I managed to get a 1 incident race. Let's go.
Good job.
Gonna bring it home in.
Yeah, especially on this track, you think you'd have a few 1Xs here and there.
Yeah, I think the next slowest was like 6 something. Yeah, Josh, another S2 win for him, another P6, back P6s on Sunday.
Yeah.
Also shout out to Trenton. It shows he only gained 2 spots, but he actually disconnected right as we gridded. So he had a pit lane start, so pit lane to 11th was electric from him as well. So, but yeah, that's the second Sunday in a row that's been super brutal.
Yeah.
Between the Formula Fords and the SRFs, won't be as bad this weekend though.
All right, so let's see some results if I can figure out where my screen share is.
You guys are going to watch me get up and you're going to see my pajama pants on, but I need to turn the light on because I just realized how dark it was in this room. So I apologize to everybody for this.
All right. Yeah. That. TMI.
Anyways, I'm back.
All right. So there's our podiums for this week. We got Thor and Jim with that fantastic finish they had, and Guido brought in the bronze.
Let's go, Guido.
Adam for Spec 2, but there's a little asterisk there beside your name, Adam.
Yes.
Donnie Isley and Matthias Marin.
Matthias.
So,
Matthias.
A great P4 though, Adam. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that is going to be the last podium or the last interview I get in the Formula V. So everybody, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Not true with the pace you've shown so far. As long as you've got the fuel,
no, I think
fine.
you'll be there.
All right, not you too, Jason. Not you too. Come on.
Just saying. I mean, that's the only thing that's slowed you down so far. So.
And then we saw Yangtze take care of Jason Berry by just a.
That's the second week in a row you said Jason Berry.
I did. James Berry. Did I really?
Yes.
Yeah, you said it last week too.
Oh man. Crap.
No worries.
All right.
Let's go, James.
And Daniel Tufts brings home the bronze in that. Josh Wilkie, our own SMB producer, commentator, wins Spec 2 there. Andrew Love gets the silver. Bill Walker gets the bronze. York brings home the Masters gold, and somebody.
Oh, let's go, Stevie.
Look who brought the silver.
Who is that guy?
Wait, where did you finish in that race, Stevie?
Overall.
Let's go. I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't notice that. Well done. Let's go.
Just outside the top 10. So Brad Cathcart brings home the bronze.
Let's go, Brad.
Marco Maurizio, the top of the Spec 1 guys. They had their own little world there. Hayden Bramley brings home the bronze. Joshua Wilkie, once again, the gold in Spec 2. He's man on the move.
Trying to do the double.
Yeah. Philip Berry, Paolo Brimi. And then Antonio joined us for the Spec Fords and took home the gold. Brad moved up from the bronze to the silver.
Let's go, Brad.
And Kurt Nunez, another long time.
We got Kurt here, by the way, in the chat saying this is first podium for Kurt. So congrats to you, Kurt, on the podium there.
Let's go, Kurt.
Well done, Kurt.
Went from damage in the turn 1 incident to a podium. So let's go, Kurt.
Oh, yeah. Great job. And now I think I'm ready for. There we go. There's standings after 2 rounds.
Oh, hey, nice. Look, there's another asterisk there too.
That looks awesome.
Yeah. So Thor's got a pretty good lead over Jim at the moment, and that's pretty close to Guido. Not too many points there, and pretty tight with Adam there and leading, but he's not going to be leading anymore. So.
It sounds like there might be a third place there in S2, and I don't know who is behind Gary, but fights on for S2 for sure.
Yeah, it usually is. And then James Berry this time.
Yep,
there you go.
Not that big a lead over Yangtze, and then they got a little gap over Daniel. Josh Wilkie on top in the Spec 2. 23 points, and Bill Walker. Master sees Jim Brewster, and Brad. George got a little gap.
Yep.
Marco and Maurizio, top of the class there. Jason's been pretty steady this season so far after 2 races, so gets you up on the podium.
Guido, tell me about it, buddy. It's the last time you and I will both be in this picture, so we can be friends together outside of these pictures, Guido.
Yeah. All right. Masters, there's Josh Wilkie again on the podium, doing the double, as we said. Masters, Antonio was back in there. Brad and Jim Brewster once again. So Jim's working on the double. So
go, Jim.
So,
Jim's working on the triple, actually.
Yes.
I forgot. There he is in Spec 1 over there. So good job. All right.
Oh, Guido. Oh, man. That's to the pleas of Adam. There are a lot of Italians up there. I know. I got to get an American up there to break that up. All you Italians up there thinking you're hot stuff up there. Nope.
Mm-hmm. It won't last long.
All right. Well,
that was Antonio's words.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we got some good stuff going on.
Yep. We want to talk about the tracks for next week?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to be running all 3 next week. What?
Oh yeah, I'm excited for 2 of them. One of them I'm not too happy about, or I guess I'm being a little dramatic, but V's we're at Mid Ohio. That's going to be a blast.
That's going to be so much freaking fun.
That's one of my favorite tracks. I'd love to do that one.
Yep. And we're not doing the chicane either, so I'm sure we're going to be figuring out how many wide we can go into the keyhole and then into China Beach. We'll see if we can get it to 4 or 5 wide into there and survive on Friday. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Formula Fords are at Lime Rock Classic. Will be.
Russ Telker. By the way, Russ Telker saying that it's going to be more than human now. Going to be in the podium spot for the championship in S2.
Okay. All right. There you go.
And then SRF's at Laguna Seca, which will be, I guess so that'll be the challenging race, the big challenge for this Sunday. Because it's Laguna Seca. So if we get another big field.
Lime Rock's the bull ring for the Formula Fords. That's short, fast laps and just, and then you got the corkscrew and turn 5 or is it turn 5 or 7? Turn 6, the
the kink,
the dip.
Mm-hmm. So the Laguna is so much fun in the SRF though. It's
doesn't sound like Trenton thinks so.
Oh yeah, Trenton. There's I think myself and Patrick are in the minority as we're the only 2 ones that appeared to like Laguna last night. So but yeah, it's a survival track, but it's also a ton of fun in the SRF. So and Zippy joined us for Faux Speed as well on Sunday. So
awesome. Yeah, for anybody watching, besides these league races, you've got to practice on Friday night. They call it the draft party with the V's. On Sunday evenings, U.S. time, Jason Green throws up. It's called the Faux Speed, and it's the practice for the coming week's track. And everybody's welcome for that. It's a hosted session he does.
Yep, open to everybody.
And, are they still doing a Euro time on Monday for the Faux Speed?
Yep, Euro time zone at 1900 GMT. So it's around 2 p.m. Central Time, U.S. time. And then Sunday night is at 7 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah. So a lot of fun there. Some extra work, extra help if you want. Any of these guys in the league, Jason, anybody will be more than willing to help you, share a setup, whatever you need.
Yep.
Real quick for the chat, Guido, go ahead and DM me, buddy. I might just lose to you just for that picture. But yeah, it's got Guido in. I mean, he is teeing off on me right now. The problem is, this is the Ray Esports pod, the Raycing Line. This is not a slow motion broadcasting podcast, so I can't tee off back, Guido. So you are welcome.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I hope it doesn't rain at Lime Rock.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That would spice that up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe I do hope it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and once again, for anybody else that doesn't know, I put real world weather in. So if it's raining in real world Lime Rock, you're going to get rain. That's why the Spec Racer Fords had kind of a foggy day at Cadwell Park. It was raining and 100% humidity over there. So whatever I can find in real world for that day is what you're going to get.
Well, there's a chance. That's what I'm seeing. I just Googled the weather, and there's a 6% chance of rain at 1 p.m. So
okay. Practice is always in the morning, like 8 or 9 a.m. for the leagues. Qualifying is about 11:30, and race is 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So you're going to get different temperatures during the different sessions as well. So we try to make it as realistic as possible.
Yep, that'll
Trenton saying he hopes it snows.
I have been on a track when it snowed, and it is not fun. That Hallett in April, I think, in Oklahoma, it snowed, and we were out in the Spec Racers on track. So it was, oh man.
Yep.
I still remember that, and it's been many, many moons ago.
Showing your age, Stevie.
Yeah, I am. That was longer ago than several of you guys been around. I'll put it that way.
Zippy, before we get off air tonight, I'll move the webcam around to show everybody in here what that new wall ornament is you're talking about. I promise.
Ooh,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So we have a as always, our special guest in the fourth seat tonight. He doesn't have the camera. We knew at some point we would have some of our guests that might not have cameras, and that's okay. Just Brian gets to be the first one. So Brian Styczynski comes from a Formula V racing family. His brother, his father, and I have cousins, aunts, uncle, I don't know, but he definitely comes from a racing family, and one of several families actually in the Formula Vs and the SCCA. And he can tell us a little more about that. But Brian, welcome to the Racing Line, bud.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it and always love talking Formula V. I got one uncle on my dad's side who has raced Formula Vs forever. He's currently racing Formula Fords in Arizona. And my uncle on my mother's side was racing a Formula Atlantic at the June Sprint. So, yeah, wow. quite a few members.
Yeah. One of several families, right?
Yeah, I think like Indy Runoffs 2021, I counted we had 8 families with a total of like 18 drivers out of 50 there.
Wow. Yeah, it's just that kind of a group, isn't it? Just a really good community, families involved, the whole bit.
Yeah, it goes deep. I mean, I was saying in the chat earlier that it's such a fun time in the paddock that it's a big Formula V family. Everybody's sharing parts, tools, secrets, hands-on wrenches, whatever you need. And it's hard to move up to a different class when everybody kind of stays away from each other and keeps their secrets and all that, and you're just there by yourself on race weekends.
Yeah. So the question I always ask all of our guests, Brian Belinsky on Inside the SCCA always asks everybody how they got into the racing hobby. And I like to take a page out of that and ask you, how did you get into sim racing?
My dad had some papyrus games at the office. So I was doing the old IndyCar game on a keyboard and then Grand Prix Legends on a keyboard. Maybe a NASCAR game on Xbox where the goal was to start 20-something at Watkins Glen and be in the lead by the end of the first laps, not necessarily using brakes.
Yeah.
But then maybe 2010, my dad got into iRacing and got a G29, and he's like, "No, this is a real game. There aren't computer opponents. It's all real people." Before they had AI opponents and all that.
Yeah.
And he was out there racing with Mike Ferrison's when he was just stacking up national championships, and tried it out, and I thought it was pretty cool. I was living in Peoria at the time, around 2011, going to community college down there as part of a internship program at work. For the low price of $400, I rented myself a house, and they had a top floor of one room, and I was in a welding class, so I welded together a sim rig, got my own G29, and when I think I was playing on a lap, but similar to last week Dave Ogburn's stories, I had a couch laptop and, never stopped since then.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here?
That's Will Power's garage. Yeah, that's at Indy. That's
yeah.
Will Power's garage. And awesome. Clean it out. I didn't race that weekend. This was last year, which was the 60th anniversary of the Formula V.
Yeah.
My uncle actually owns that car, and he went out to race his brother, my dad, because they grew up listening to Indy on the radio as kids.
Yeah.
And they finally had the chance to race each other at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So I took the kids down just to watch them, and it was weird watching my car out there. But that's Will Power's garage.
Awesome.
Garage A21.
Huh. And that's your children, obviously?
Yeah, that's Mabel and Colin.
Okay, cool. And another picture at Indy. Looks like some classics.
Unbelievable. You know what? This is getting me. Brian, you're starting to make me a little bit jealous here. Just a little bit.
So my uncle did not win the race, but he won the placement for the picture. The car that won the race is that red 32. That's Doug Bowles' son, Carter Bowles. First time in a Formula V. He beat seasoned vets, the son of the president.
Wow.
Doug was racing too. We took some pictures with him. He has a custom-made suit to mimic his blue, sport coat with the tie.
Okay.
We got. Sorry, Trenton. Real quick before we move on. Sorry, Trenton in the chat said FV is on the list to run eventually. That FV has the same horsepower as one of Will Power's cylinders. Anyways, go ahead.
That doesn't look
probably
good.
Less.
Yeah.
No, that's the car after the June sprints, which is why I'm not racing at the runoffs. I had to strip it down to check for frame damage. I exceeded 25G impact into wall, and the only damage was a mounting point for the right trailing arm on that citation.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. Wow. So there we go.
Yeah, grid at Gingerman. The Abbott's in the background behind me. I know they've been on here on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Andrew's been on the podium at the runoffs 4 times in a row now, consecutively.
Yeah, that's another one of the famous families in V's, Andrew and Brandon. And I met them at Indy. It was awesome after running with them online. So
I'm pulling for one of them to win it this year after the unfortunate passing of their father, who famously changed the one tire at VIR last year.
Yes.
So Andrew started from the back on the restart and ended up on the podium once again.
Yeah. That was really a sad day in the V world, totally unexpected and hard to see. I'm guessing that may be Road America.
That's coming out of the kink. Yeah. We have some great photographers. Pro and amateur out there. These guys have their own. Yeah, same thing.
Unbelievable.
That's at Groton. Same thing through the trees. They know how to get good shots.
Yeah.
It's just like us. It's their hobby. It's what they like to do on the weekends, same as us, and they like showing them off.
All right, I gotta ask. I gotta ask a question here while we're looking at this picture. Why does your V, Brian, look radically different than the V that we run in iRacing?
So there's 2 of them.
Okay.
That's a vintage car. That's a Lynx B, a 1972 Lynx B. The other one I have is a 1994 Citation.
Okay.
That races in SCCA, and basically the iRacing Formula V is the body is modeled after a Protoform P3, and the body work is kind of open. You can do what you want. You've got an engine, transmission, front axle, front beam, suspension, all that, and then kind of go from there within the parameters of overall length and stuff like that.
Do you want me to read Do you want me to read what your brother said in chat, Stevie? Are you getting to that?
Yeah, I was. Okay. I was getting there.
Yeah, put it on the record.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Stevie. I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, somebody was just asking where your brother Dan was, and then he pops in here and says, "Don't ask Brian to build anything for you. He built two wood go-karts when we were young. One didn't have steering, the other didn't have brakes."
Yeah, no. As my father reminds me all the time of, I was just out there cutting up plywood and 2x4s and stuff, and I used, instead of a sawhorse, I used his stack of fresh sticker tires. He cut through one, and I never lived that down. But I've learned engineering the hard way. I had little flimsy angle iron on as axles for bike tires on the back, and one gave out down a hill. Scrape my face and shoulder. But that was at 8, so I've evolved a little bit since then. I'd like to
learned a couple of lessons. That is an awesome picture, Brian.
Yep.
I've got another behind the scenes photo of that, but that's the site. That's SCCA. On the left is an evolution of the protoform. It's called the Vortec. This is my dad's purple car, and then it's his old Citation on the right, and we were able to stage that at Golden Hour, or whatever they call it, with a bunch of headlights from cars and mopeds and stuff. And
that's just awesome. Was that the runoffs?
Yeah, 2021.
2021. Okay.
Yeah, I had been racing the vintage car for like 5 years. I got started in it. I was at Indy in 2017, and I was sitting up there realizing I could actually get out there and do that at this point in my life. But I'm sitting here, and I got in a vintage car, and then I was at the Road America runoffs in 2020, and like, oh shit, I'm going to be in the stands at Indy again. So I pulled my dad's old Citation out of storage, and it was just a frame, and built it up and got it going. Horrible season of getting it sorted out. Like the first race, I was getting lapped by the V's, and slowly got it going. And that year, I qualified 24th out of 48 for Indy. Had the wrong gearing for the start, fell back to 36th, and ended up 14th.
Ooh, wow.
Most importantly, beating my dad for the Styczynski Cup.
Oh, I'm sure Dad loves when you remind him of that.
Yeah.
I think he was a little bit proud.
That's good.
Let's go back.
And it was his fault. There's a video, and he spun. It was all his own fault. But yeah, there's 48 Vs going at it.
Let's go.
You guys like 4 wide. Let's go 6 wide.
Right? I was just trying to count that.
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
That's awesome.
If this picture were to be taken 3 seconds in the future, did all 48 of those Vs get through turn 1?
On the first lap, yes. that year, that's 2021. 2017, no, there were about 10. It was chaos the first time there.
Yeah, I figured.
Dan's at it again. He's saying you guys don't have a competitive family. You remember Eric bragging about a 4.0.
He just thinks we aren't competing.
Got a 4.0 on your second associate's degree, and he got a 4.0 on the master's program. So
I noticed he failed to put masters in quotes since he never finished his thesis.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Shots fired on the racing line. Mm-hmm. Is that a current one?
There's the Styczynski Cup. Little Colin is using it as a seat. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's Dan in the background, back right.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Shout out to Dan and Grandma. Shout out to family watching at home. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Mom. Hi, Scott.
Awesome. The Styczynski Cup. There you go. And that's
awesome.
You and Dad?
Yep, that's it, Indy 2. The Styczynski Cup, my uncle and dad, I think my uncle commissioned a trophy in 1986 so that they could fight for it each year. They both started in the late 70s in Formula V.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
it's a destination, like kind of like Spec Miata is today. Like it's entry level. It's as cheap as you can get. And once you kind of get in there, there's so many people involved, and it's fun, close racing. There's a large portion of the people that just decide, why would I ever go anywhere else?
You've heard that. Yeah. I have heard that before. It looks like the Weekend Warriors finish.
I've seen this picture somewhere around before.
Mimicking iRacing, those photo finishes. I posted a bunch more from the last time the runoffs were at Road America. But yeah, that's a dead heat. Wow. There aren't enough zeros to decide the winner. That's a tie for 4th.
Wow. Andrew Abbott and
Rick Shields, 2-time national champion, and then Zach Winston in the background.
Zach, okay. Yeah, we've had the Winsons in the Tuesday night SCCA League as well. So another family. Steve and Zach, and I can't remember who else. There's like 3 of them.
Andrew and Dad Ron.
Yeah. I think the Formula Vs are more of a family-oriented class than any other class I've seen.
You could show up by yourself, and you'll be part of our family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you say, or I watched, you typed something in chat earlier, Brian, about, that's Guido was talking about, the Weekend Warriors, where you come for the racing, you stay for the people. And you said that's just a normal Formula V paddock. I think different. I think back in when you get to those I'm not trying to say this to offend anybody. When you get to those cheaper ways to race, that's when everyone becomes friends because you don't have as much on the line.
Yeah, and I truly believe that's part of the success with this class. I mean, it started as a budget class. It is very weird that it exists. 61-year-old class.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, people have gone to the disc brakes on the SCCA cars as of like 5 years ago, but vintage we're still running drum brakes,
right,
and air-cooled engines. It's a little silly to be racing something like this in SCCA, but it's so much fun. There are plenty of people to help you, and I mean, I'm as budget a driver as you get. I sleep in the trailer. I've got help from my dad, which definitely helps. But it's something if you really want to get into it, you can pull off 4 or 5 races for, especially in vintage, for about $6-7 grand a year.
That is a gorgeous picture too.
Hmm.
Nighttime with the Indy tower.
Stevie, you stop sharing.
Yeah. All right.
You're just clicking through pictures, looking
at crap. Okay, here we go. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more the glamour shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at Indy at the runoffs. I was there that year. That was a lot of fun.
Shout out to my father. If you can't really see it, but over my dad's front right tire is my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and wife with a little stroller.
I see him way back
there.
Yep.
Being mad at me for not leaving.
And who do we have there?
That is a young race fan named Brian.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
That's kind of what I was thinking. On Dad's trailer.
That's
yeah.
Where's the facial hair?
A couple of years,
right?
Well, that's summer. Facial hair is a winter laziness thing when I don't have to put a balaclava over anything.
I got it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm supposed to stir up the stuff again and ask Brian who's the better hockey player. So.
Technically, there's only one hockey player in my family because goalies aren't hockey players.
Oh no!
Got him.
Oh no!
They're the most important person on a team on the ice, but they don't pass the puck or shoot it or skate. They don't do anything like hockey players normally do.
Oh man,
oh, that's awesome.
So that's the 1980 Chicago Auto Show at the Big McCormick place. SCCA had a booth, and my dad just painted that car. It's an old C5. I think whatever it is. The most beautiful paint job was done before I was born, and I never saw it. That's why I raced the colors I race because I recreated it on the vintage car.
Yep, cool. And let me guess, that looks like a Road America picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's start of one of the vintage races at Road America celebrating the 60th anniversary. I think we had 40 vintage cars there for that.
Ah, cool. Again, at least
wide variety.
wide.
I mean, you could see at least 3-4 links, but there's some cool looking cars. There was a wide variety of them back, 40, 50 years ago, and that still happens today. That Lily is kind of a one-off, and Robert's driving it. He's the son of the guy who built it and raced it back in the day.
Okay, wow. That'd be the 155.
Yeah, with the halo before it was a thing.
Yeah. Awesome. There's the fam.
That's Dan's driver school at Gingerman. Driving one of my dad's Lynxes. He has 2 Lynx now.
Okay.
And my dad, and then on the left is his longtime crew chief, Scott.
Okay.
Must be Dad.
Yep, I believe that's Road America again. Yeah, see, he used to make beautiful paint jobs. This is the last time he ever painted his helmet, so I picked up painting the cars, and I paint his helmet and my helmet too now.
Yeah, that exact shirt back in the day, so that kind of tells you how old I am as well.
That's a pretty famous shirt. I've seen him out a lot.
Yeah.
Wish I had one.
I went to the Runoffs there in 72 and got a shirt, got a patch, and I went again in 92 and got patched. So I've got those patches 20 years apart.
I think he did 2 runoffs down there back in the day. Like, it was a huge thing where he was driving to Topeka in Arizona or wherever out of region to get points just to be top 6 in the very competitive region up here.
That's vintage race.
Yeah, that's vintage at Gingerbin. Looks like a somewhat wet start. The beauty of the vintage tire is you've got wet tires, dry tires. Let's go.
Yeah.
I much prefer those tires over the SCCA slicks. They have less peakier performance zone. And at the top of the FV class, we have incredible drivers that know how to just dance right at the optimum point. That said, those vintage tires are so much more fun because you can go a little over and throw it around. The iRacing car has the much wider tires that I haven't driven. It's like the Challenge Cup style tires in America. I'm sure they're much more grippier, but I have not had the chance to drive them.
Dan's just going to ask you.
Dan's saying that 58 car in the back is currently for sale. So anybody that wants an FV, a vintage FV, there you go.
There you go.
That car is normally not at the back. I'm sure by the end of this race, he was right up there with me. If I remember correctly, he was challenging me for the win for each of the races that weekend. That's a very fast car.
There you go, guys.
He's speaking of families, that's Dave Slatterly. His dad, Dave Slatterly, also raced Formula V's for a long time. Dave Jr. and his brother Chris raced Formula V's for a little bit, and now they have their kids going. So they've got the 3 cousins on the track, sometimes joined by Dave Jr. on weekends when their grandpa's racing. It's really cool. So he's trying to sell that to, he's concentrating on his kids' efforts now.
Right.
Oops.
What was
that? Could have been a bigger oops.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad.
Spindle.
No, it doesn't beat up or nothing. I mean, it's
so the left spindle broke on that, and normally the wheel detaches from the car when that happens. And I made an informative video of why you should put a bolt in there, just a simple grade 8 bolt. Because there's another video of Jason White shoving it into the wall in turn 6, and that's when I found out when went to like 8 inches of toe out on the front left and stayed on the car. I was able to safely pull it out just before the Johnsonville Bridge there.
Yeah.
Antonio's asking if they've got a lot of like porpoising, or is the ride pretty rough? Basically, I think is what he said. Do they bounce up and down a lot, these cars? You can see, I mean, the suspension on them, that doesn't look like there's really much to them.
No, it depends on how you're setting the front end up. A lot of the current SCCA guys are dragging it on the floor of the front end, and it does not move under braking.
Right.
You can see there the front end's up, and the front end moves a lot. With braking, but yeah, it all depends what you're trying to do with the car. Like Brian Farnham won at VIR a couple years ago, and his front shock broke.
Oh wow!
The shaft, he comes in, it's just dangling.
I remember hearing that.
He runs that car so low, but if you run it that low, you can't have movement in it. So eventually, just using those curbs, it snapped and didn't even matter, I guess.
It must be the Styczynski Cup.
Styczynski, no R.
Styczynski.
You sound like announcer. No, it's very common. Yeah, no, I was painting the helmets, and that's the Styczynski Cup, getting them get them
That's
hyped
awesome.
up for whatever season we're about to do.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I got the visor shade. It says "Buy Kristen more flowers" because she had this laser etcher, and on our wedding she laser engraved "Buy Kristen more flowers" on the inside of the belt I was going to wear that day. So I'm carrying it on just as a reminder to myself.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
That is some awesome stories.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I think Stevie, we basically gone through everything here, Brian, but if you did you want to make this a full-time goal? I mean, first of all, how long have you been doing it, I guess, would be the first question. And second question is, were your plans to make this a full-time goal, or do you just want to keep it a family thing and go out racing and enjoy it?
I've been doing this since 2018, so this is my 7th or 8th year of racing Formula V. And I will say, yeah, it's definitely a full-time goal, as I'm going to be racing Formula V for the rest of my life.
Right.
My dad's been doing it 46, 47 years out now, so that's kind of my goal too. His goal is he wants to be on the track with his grandkids, and that's kind of what I'm at. As far as going professional, no, I've no interest. I'd rather just sleep in my trailer, drink beer with friends at the end of the night.
I'm glad you mentioned that, actually, because I've got Zippy in the chat asking me, you kind of hit on the trailer life, but you didn't really hit on the trailer life. So would you mind expounding on that just a little bit?
Trailer life is a lifestyle for the very sophisticated, poor race car driver. Basically, it's not getting a hotel and saving a couple $100 a weekend. But the thing I found is I spend so much time working and prepping the car, and the goal is to get to the racetrack. Once you're there, all your friends are there. Why would you ever want to leave? And then just the hassle of having to get up half an hour early. I know you get to shit and shower in nice enclosed stuff and not have to walk in the rain to do it.
Well, there's your shower.
You know,
Yeah.
some of the tracks have really nice showers, you know. But I enjoy it. It's either cold or hot. I can deal with it. I can sleep on a floor. But I enjoy being at the track. Once I'm spending about 25 hours of prep time, travel time for every hour I'm on the track.
Right.
Why am I going to go sleep in a Motel 8?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's
I'm
fair.
at Road America. That's why would I leave?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's it for me, Stevie. Those were just 2 quick ones tonight.
All right. And the last thing I got with Brian is we've had started a tradition recently. We had it at Indy. We skipped a year. Then we had a meetup last year at the SCCA Runoffs for all the esports guys that were there, the real world guys that raced. Some of us fans that race esports were there and all got together. And there's a block party on Wednesday night before all the full racing starts on Friday. And we met together during that time and shared some fun and drinks and food. And then Saturday at noon, we all got together and had a big picture done. And this year I can't make it to Road America, but Brian has graciously offered his paddock at Road America to host this the block party, the meet and greet for the esports guys. And Brian says he's going to cook and do some stuff. So tell us what all you're doing, Brian.
Well, it's my dad's paddock because I didn't qualify this year. I planned to race, but you know, I got the week off work, so that's where I'm going to be.
Family paddock.
Yeah, and it's a little tighter than the one he has at the sprints. And I sent a text message to him before I was planning this party, and he's like, "Yeah, we could talk later," because he's getting ready. So I really haven't talked to him, but yeah, he's gonna have a party there. But my plan, I've got family stuff I'm doing and had a horrible first week, so all my drop weeks are gone. So I was gonna bring the sim rig up and then gas power it and hope the cell phone works somehow to cover actually racing from Road America on Friday night and Saturday afternoon.
Stay the hell away from me, Brian. That's all I will say.
I will only see the back of you. My two good tracks were going to be VIR in Mid Ohio, so
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, I was already planning on just having a plan of just taking everything out of the freezer and using it all, cooking up there. So I only had to slightly change it to host a bunch of people to just go get more ribs and wings Wednesday night during the block party. Step by. I should have the sim rig going. I mean, even if cell phone doesn't work out as a hotspot, you should still be able to test there just fine. And and then I was thinking maybe people would not be there until the weekend, so we'll do it again Friday afternoon. I think I got chicken gyros planned for lunch, and then Saturday lunch pork sandwiches. So anytime you want to stop by, if anybody knows Road America, we are directly across from the coffee shop on the main drag. If you're in a car, you're going to see the sim rig there going to the grid or coming back after a session. It's right between False Grid and the gift shop. I'll have big flags out, big green canopy and a sim rig. You'll see me.
And I saw something about a new flag you got too, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful. I was trying out Photoshop skills, and with the help of this wonderful community, able to get my car painted, get some logos on it, and steal some logos and design a flag.
Yeah, awesome.
I got another one coming from Canada.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, so I mean, I normally put 4 flags up above the trailer, so I've got another flagpole made. We're going with 6. 2 Weekend Warrior related flags this weekend, SMB and Ray Esports above the sim rig.
Real quick, while we're talking about flags here, I think we need to bring this up.
So what you got?
So,
nice pajama pants.
The pajama pants. I knew. Yep, we're gonna just go ahead and we're gonna let this simmer for all you guys.
You just live in those, don't you?
I do. I love my pajama. If I'm not in my military uniform, I'm in pajama pants because, as you know, Stevie, those uniforms suck. But right
here,
exactly.
Me too.
Yep. But
I won't stand up though.
But yes, with that being said, speaking of a flag coming from Canada, Brian, I got one from Canada. Here about not even a week ago, a little less than a week, but that one came from Zippy, and as you guys can see, I don't know if I can zoom in on this picture. I'll try. Let me see. I'm gonna try this one time without breaking the stream. There we go. So up here at the top, you've got all of the people that have been involved in SMB. That's everyone from obviously me, Randall, Tim Cox, who you know, Stevie, all of the producers, all the commentators and everybody. And then down there at the bottom, these are all of the league admins that have helped SMB out as well. Now you see Jordy Fike, I know you know Stevie.
Yeah.
We got some people from SimCar over there. Stevie Ray, I think I know that name down there on that flag.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yep. Bobby West. So a bunch of people here. There are a few people missing. Obviously, Michelle and Jimmy Brewster. But for the most part, that's just massive shout out, Zippy, for that flag. And that I promise you that is going to go wherever I go. So
that is awesome.
Thank you so much, Zippy, and everyone's still making fun of my pajama pants, so I'll go ahead and stop.
Zippy's the man, so are you. Glad somebody's carrying on the torch. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, really glad.
The Rabbit Ranger as well, Zippy.
Yes, the Rabbit Ranger.
Did you see the small little change? Did you see the small little change in the helmet on the thumbnail, Adam?
We're about to see it here in just a second, but no, I did not, and I'm worried now. I shouldn't have even looked.
So
I have to say, SMB is pretty big for growing the Weekend Warrior FV class, like doubled it since we got consistent coverage. It's great coverage, and it's great racing. You put those things together, people should want to be a part of it. It's fun as hell.
It is. Yep. It really is. I mean, if you guys, obviously all the Weekend Warriors broadcasts, or all the Weekend Warriors racing is good every weekend between the SRF, the FFs, and the FVs, but I am a bit impartial to the FVs just because I clicked with those ladies and gentlemen so well the first time I joined in there. So it is.
You found your people.
It is so much fun. It really is. And just anything you ever need, that community, I like the FFs and the SRFs. They're all there to help. There's nobody there that's going to beat you down if you wreck them. It's just a great community of people. It really is.
And speaking of Formula V's and racing and broadcast, I'm going to give you another place to do it.
Okay.
We announced today that our SCCA based league that we ran on Tuesday nights for a long time. We started with the SCCA Esports during COVID, and they shut down, and I continued it under the Ray Esports for 10 seasons, 13 seasons, I can't remember, but for quite a while. And we've been in pause mode since the spring. And I'm going to kick that up again the end of October, just the day before Halloween, as a matter of fact. We're going to move to Wednesdays. It's going to be October 30th. That's going to be day one, round one. And we're going to have 3 different groups. It's going to take 3 weeks to get through a round. So week 1, you're going to see Miata Madness or Mazda Madness as the first race. And that's going to be the Legacy 2010 Cup car and the Global MX5 car. 2 separate classes, but on track together. So if you like the old one, you can do that. If you like the new one, you can do that. We'll mix them up. 30-minute race. After race 2 on week 1 is going to be TCRs. So we're going to do a little IMSA type thing, do a 40-minute race with all the TCRs. And both of those and all the rest of them is only going to be like a short 10-minute warm up, get in the session, a short 10-minute solo qualifying, 4 lap, and then we're going to go racing. So I'm not going to mess around. We're going to go racing. Week 2 of it is going to be the group 2, and that's going to be an hour-long race with all the GT4 cars, kind of geared after the WRL guys, a little bit of an endurance type of thing. Pit stop required. Driver changes are going to be optional for that, so you can have a team. Maybe a little more practice and still a solo qual there, but that's going to be the one race for the group 2. And then group 3 is where we come in, and that's going to be 2 30-minute races, one for the Formula V's, one for the Spec Racer Fords. So keep our most popular classes going with that.
You know what, Steve? You put them both on track together, multi-class. Let's go.
Oh.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I came into Weekend Warriors not too long ago, within the last year, and it was because I saw people I real Formula V race with that I follow friends with in sessions like, I got to get on there. And it was realistic. You've got the Formula 4s. You're just waiting to come by to lap you and deal with the traffic as you're fighting with your own class. Here they come flying down into turn 3 at Mid-Ohio. Deal with it. You got to in real life.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll consider that next season. But this one to kick it off like that. Excuse my...
It was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I think we'll get a lot more of the especially now that the runoffs will be done. The real world guys coming back in over the winter.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of waiting for and hoping for. And we're going to have 7 rounds, so it's going to take 21 weeks, but we're going to skip Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And that's going to take us all the way out to about April 9th, if I remember right. So it's going to be about a 6-month-long season. And we're looking for sponsors. If you want to sponsor a class, that's what we did before with the SCCA-based group. Somebody sponsored the SRF, somebody sponsored the Formula V's. Breaks up the cost a little bit. It's more reasonable. I'm going to WRL and see if I can get something from those guys. But I kind of wanted to open it up outside of the SCCA limitation and get some of the WRL, some of the vintage guys, some of the Challenge Cup guys, and kind of mix you all together and make some new friends and let you race together. So hopefully this will be something that we can bridge that gap and have some fun with.
Absolutely.
So be prepared for that. Get ready. I said that's going to be the end of October. We'll start that. So that was my other announcement for what's coming up.
Let's go.
You guys got anything?
I've got one more, and then I'm going to leave everybody alone for the night. And I'm sure my wife would love me to leave you all alone so I can go sit down with her and watch some TV. But Michelle in the chat a little earlier congratulated me. And anybody that doesn't know yet, anybody that's not part of the of any of the groups in the Weekend Warriors, we had our gender reveal party on Sunday, which is why I was not part of the SRFs or the Formula Fords on Sunday. And guys, for the first baby, it's going to be a girl.
What is it?
It's a girl.
Awesome.
So
girl dad.
Yep. So yes, massive shout out. Obviously, you guys saw the flag earlier. In case you guys didn't know, that's why I gave it over to Zippy, because I can't do that anymore, especially if I'm going to have a girl, because I'm going to have my hands full. So yeah, absolutely super excited about that. Thank you, Michelle, for the congrats there.
Luckily, I had 3 boys before I had my girls, so I had some other males kind of watching over her.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And then she ended up being the one that was all car in. She does the tires, works on the engine, cleans the injectors, whatever it takes. She's in it. So
exactly.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
She couldn't help it. So. All right, guys. Once again, Brian, super appreciate you taking time out and joining us tonight and sharing those stories and talking some V's and giving some of these people some encouragement to do that.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you.
And really appreciate you hosting that the meetup up there and hope you have some fun. I'm really disappointed I can't make it this year. I went to the June sprints last year and that's the only track in iRacing that I actually raced at back in the day. And that was my first rain race, and the spec racer was at Road America. So it's a special place.
I pretty much grew up there. That's why I spent my summers.
Awesome. Yeah. So
every birthday for the first 18 years was spent at Road America.
Oh man, I'm envious now. Jason, JG2, Adam, appreciate you guys joining once again, being here. I couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely. I think,
Stevie,
if whenever you tell me to hit the button, we're out of here.
All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week on the Racing Line.